My baby girl,
Sir.
believe what you have written, what you have said. I believe that came from your heart. I accept you as my son.
Watching the conversation between Tyler and Ashley A's dad, and the conversation between Alex and, well, between Alex's dad and Tim, is their night. Is their night. One is very respectful, very soulful. The other one, for me, didn't make sense. It just seemed more performative. And then I saw this coming. No one can say they're surprised with the result with Stephen and Monica. We all saw it coming, and no one should be surprised that this is how things have ended because of the conversations that they were having. But anyway, hey there, thanks for stopping by. It's Valerie. Welcome to my channel. If you're new here, don't forget to subscribe, click the like button, turn on the notification bell for when I upload new videos, and definitely leave a comment. In this episode, I'll be reviewing Love is Blind, Season 7, Episode 8. Watching Love is Blind is now a bit cringe, especially when it comes to scenes that involve Ashley A and Tyler, given all the rumors that are out there in the ether about Tyler. So I don't know how I feel about that. Anyway, so you have poor Stephen finally take Monica to this sort of, well, it's a workshop where you sort of frame your flowers. So you have dried flowers that you put in a glass frame and they live for eternity, according to them. She seemed very excited, Monica. She was ecstatic. And he said, given the fact that I promised the flowers and I didn't deliver, I had to do something big because otherwise a bouquet of flowers wouldn't have worked, which I give him credit for thinking outside the box. I give him a lot of credit for that because it shows that, you know, he's really trying to make an effort to impress her. And for Monica to then turn around and say to the lady who was showing them how to do it, oh, which one do you think is best? Which one do you... And it's like, it's not a competition, Monica. It's not a competition. Why do you have to make everything cringe? This man has gone out of his way to try and make you happy. Just be happy and move on. Anyway, you have Hannah and Nick D go and visit Nick D's house. Ooh, this reminded me of Married at First Sight. If you've watched Married at First Sight, that guy who moved in with his friends and was living in the basement. Well, Nick D apparently is staying with his parents in their basement. According to him, he didn't feel the need to get his own place because he was planning a football career. So his plan was to always sort of keep his stuff at home, and then wherever he's playing, he'd play there. That way he didn't need to pay rent separately. He lived upstairs until a couple of years, I think he said 2-3 years ago, when he moved into the basement. It's like, this is a bit too... If he was the 26-year-old saying this, then it would make sense. But at his age of 28, for him to be living with his parents, it doesn't make sense. Who does the cooking for you? My mom does. Who feeds your cat? My dad does. Who hang the mirror? My dad. And it's like, so what do you do as a person in this household? What do you do? Are you just there to be looked after? Meaning that if you do decide to sort of get married to Hannah is now taking the responsibility away from your parents. This is why she says she's the more mature one in the relationship. Because they even had a conversation about, so when we get married, what do we need to do? He was sort of implying that Hannah would move in with him, and Hannah said, no, you would move into my place. And it's like, why is he moving into your place? The two of you need to be finding a place where you live separately from your place and his place, and let it be our place as a combined union. I think this is why Nick wanted to be on the show, because he sort of gave a real estate card. Oh, this is my card, Nick, whatever. He was there to promote himself. He was on Love is Blind to promote himself, and that's it. I don't think he was there to look for a partner. I think this is why he kept pushing so that he could stay on the show. He's not mature enough to be marrying anyone. He's not mature enough to be starting a family with anyone. So I don't get why he would even feel... He was self-conscious because he kept saying, this went better than I expected. Anyway, there's nothing to be ashamed of. This is very good. And it's like, who are you hyping up? Yourself or the viewers that are watching? Who are you hyping up? I am trying not to emotionally invest in couples at the moment because I'm just recently had my heart broken. So I can't be dealing with any more of these reality couples. But Alex and Tim, for me, oh my God. I love the fact that Tim, well, he did most of the barbecuing of the meat, so everything was ready. And then Alex sort of came out and had a conversation with him again and sort of explained why she had taken off her ring, because her dad wasn't aware this is what had happened. Everybody else in the family knows. I know her mom and dad were both diagnosed with MS, but I think her dad's MS is more advanced because you can tell that his mobility is quite reduced, his speech is affected as well. So when they came in, when Alex and Tim sort of sat down with the dad, they were sort of trying to find a very delicate way of sort of breaking the news to the dad. And I like the fact that after the dinner, well, the family first questioned, Tim, the brothers asked, why did you choose her? What was it about her that made you feel, she was the one? And he really spoke very eloquently and very respectfully that oh my God, I was touched. And then he asked them after they'd eaten, say, can I please speak to her dad? So he sat down, he read the letter that he read in the pods. You could see the dad was crying. I myself was crying. I was really touched by that letter. The fact that he sat down and wrote it, they must have really worked very hard after whatever happened in Mexico to sort of come away from that, because this is a big deal for him to sort of make this commitment to this man who's very frail and saying, I'm taking your daughter, I'm going to look after her, blah, blah, blah. I feel like they said yes, because I saw a picture on her Instagram with her wearing the sister's bracelet. So I like the respectful way in which he asked for their daughter's hand in marriage, and the dad said yes, and the dad said, I take you as my son. And for the dad to introduce him to Alex's brothers when they came back into the room as their brother, come and meet your brother, that was amazing. Her mother was already on board. Her mother loved Tim. I loved Tim, the way he carried himself, the way he was very respectful and very dignified. Oh my God, I loved it. I really loved it. And that is what a family sort of, meet the family. That's what it should be like. That's what it should be like. I know a lot of parents are very hesitant to be on the show, especially after the backlash. I will continue to say it, that Bliss's dad received. It's important, if they're going to come, for things to play out like this, let this be the gold standard of how Meet the Parents should be, because this was amazing. This was really amazing. And the fact that the parents were welcoming, the brothers were welcoming, they were happy because of how Tim carried himself and his military service. Nobody questioned, everything was very supportive and loving and caring. And it gave Tim, I think, the reassurance that he needed to realize that, yes, we had a blip in Mexico, but at the end of the day, this is who she is at the core. And for the dad to sort of say to his daughter, he's got you now, it was amazing. Oh my God, I was in tears. There's something very soothing and calming about watching Taylor and Alex sort of navigate their journey in the experiment, as well as Alex and Tim. Alex and Tim, once they got over their hurdle, it seems they've been very calming to watch, because in the pods, they were in a little zone of their own, same as Taylor and Gareth. I thought the same about Ashley A and Tyler, but obviously with everything that's come up about him, I've decided to put that to the side. Anyway, so you have Gareth and Taylor sort of having a conversation about, they visit her apartment, and then they're having conversations of where they will live once they're married and what that will look like. And so they're planning on moving to San Diego because that's closer to her family. Obviously, with Gareth, he feels some type of way because I think he's had a conversation with his parents and he's told them that he will be moving once they're married with his wife, and his family are worried because they want to be a part of his family. They still want to be able to see grandkids and stuff. And so for him to sort of say to her, I am concerned because I don't want my parents to just be holiday Christmas grandparents whereby you only see them at Christmas and that's it. I also want them to be strongly involved in my children's upbringing. So I like that they are always honest with their conversations. They're always able to sort of address their concerns and not just sweep them under the rug and wait for wedding day to whether to say yes or no. So the fact that he is telling her and she is sort of open to the idea, she says, I still will be working in Washington, so I will still need to come down. But it's just most of my family, that's where they are. And so it makes more sense. And he really loves this woman. I also appreciate him saying to her, really love you, and I know that if I don't lean in fully I could lose you, and that's something that I don't want to experience. So I'd rather lean in fully. If things don't work out, that's fine, but at least I've made the effort. And so it's showing that they said when they visited his parents that they were giving each other room to change their mind. If somebody changed their mind, that was fine, but at the end of the day they were going to do everything to make sure that they put in their 100%. So if things don't work out, they've done their best. And so for both of them to say, I am concerned that you might wake up one day and change your mind and say, no, I'm done, I don't want to do this anymore. And so it's going to be interesting to see how they navigate that, because they're being genuine, they're being honest. They are a couple that I feel is going to have the same journey as Cam and Lauren, as Alex and Brennan. Who's the other couple from last? Tiffany and Brett. That sort of journey is what I see for them, that they are going to be the couple that was focused on their journey, that did not involve themselves in love triangle, did not involve themselves in any mess, and were focused on the goal of the experiment, which is to find your person, propose to your person, and say yes on wedding day and live happily ever after. I'm going to need Netflix to refund my money, because I don't know why I had to sit through that awkward conversation between Monica and Stephen, why we had to hear them discuss various sex position, and the audacity of this man to say that being kicked in his manhood is the same as someone in labor. Men always say this, and yet when they're giving them that machine, machine to stimulate, contractions, they say it's a lot of pain. And it's like, yes, that might be severe pain to you, but that doesn't mean it's equivalent to what a woman goes through, because some women can't even function because of how severe the pain is. And the conversation about sex didn't need to be on camera. They could have done that in private. They didn't need to subdue us all to all that nonsense. I don't even get why the producers felt it was relevant or it was appropriate for us to sit through that and to listen to all that. Anyway, you then have Nick D with Hannah. So Hannah is cleaning. She seems to be very obsessive compulsive in her cleaning. She kept taking paper towel after paper towel after paper towel to clean the cupboards, and the producers made it, obvious by constantly going to her every time. I don't think she did that all in one go. I think they edited it to be back to back to back. So she asked Nick to take the bin out, and then they had a conversation whereby she was complaining that she is having to ask him to do certain things. And this is something that came up when they were in Mexico, because she said she didn't want to parent him. I think going to see him at his parents' house and hearing the responses that he gave her just gave her the ick, and now she's just complaining because she feels like she's having to parent him. They had a conversation about bills. It seems his parents pay his phone bill, they pay his car insurance, he doesn't have any investments, and she's sort of trying to understand, when we get married, what happens to all these things? Are we combining? Are we doing this? And he says, well, if my parents want to continue to pay my phone bill, they can do that for the next 2 years, or and it's like, seriously, what sort of man are you? This is why she keeps saying to you, you're not mature. Because if you're comfortable at 28 having your parents pay your phone bill, having your parents pay your car insurance, they were providing a roof over his head, they were providing food, his mom was literally cooking his meal. So what was he doing? I wouldn't be surprised if they were doing his laundry and everything else, and he was just walking around. I feel like this is why he came to the show, to promote his business so that he can get a source of income. But I don't think he was doing anything substantial. So I give Hannah credit for being able to put up with that, because I don't think I would have been able to do that. That would be a bit too intense for me. And for him to say, okay, fine, I don't understand about stocks and investments myself. I did try and sort of listen to it, but I've been burnt once by investments, so I try to stay clear. But I don't know. I really don't get it, and I don't understand how this man at 28 is the one who is being taught how to do stuff by somebody else. Yes, she says, she's been on her own since she was 18, but still, at least make an effort to research items, make an effort to show that you are interested. If you don't know, ask, instead of just sitting there and letting her do everything for you. That's why she says you're not as mature as she is. So you have Tyler and Ashley A meet up with her dad. And for me, this was a totally different scenario. This was totally different to what we saw with Alex, Tim, and Alex's dad, because this seemed more boastful, in the sense that I felt like Tyler didn't humble himself before this man. I felt like he wanted to show off. He was very boisterous and sort of trying to show him that I am the guy, I am that guy. Yes, he spoke to him in a well, I can't say that. When you compare with what Tim did, it's totally opposite end of the spectrum. I know the dads both asked, what is it about my daughter that you liked? And I didn't quite get a response that would make me feel like, oh, she made me feel safe. He said she made him feel safe. Yeah, but still, what else? I wish she had been more respectful. I wish she had been more sort of humble. I wish she had been more prepared for meeting the dad. Yes, the dad, he is the dad, he's going to ask his questions. And for Ashley, when the dad asked, can you give us a moment, for her to say to him, are you okay to stay with my dad? And it's like, what do you think your dad is going to do? This is a conversation the two of you should have had, like what Alex and Tim did before you met your dad. That way you're both prepared for when your dad asks to have a conversation with Tyler, because you knew your dad would want to speak to Tyler without you being present. Yes, he asked for the hand in marriage, but it was a totally different scenario, and it left sort of a bitter taste in my mouth. I remember saying that with Monica and Stephen, they were using I love you as a way of sort of manipulating each other. They didn't truly understand the true meaning of love. And so, well, we cut to a scene whereby you have Taylor sort of sitting down with Monica, and she's sort of apologizing, and she's saying, I'm so sorry you're going through this. I'm so sorry you're going through this. Only to find out that Stephen apparently was, well, he said he was at a sleep study, and then he was busy flirting with someone, saying some of the most inappropriate stuff. This is why I was saying the conversation about the sex didn't make sense. So it turns out he was busy flirting with someone, and now Monica is questioning whether he actually went for a sleep study or whether he was with this person that he was texting all these inappropriate comments. And it's like, this is not it. This is not it. And I don't know why. I really don't know why I don't know why he chose to do it. I really don't get it. Because he did make some comments about girls sliding in your DMs, and so I don't know whether he was just there just for the clicks and he just found whoever he thought was most vulnerable and he bonded with, and that's the person he proposed to. And so he apologizes to her for being on the show and for proposing to her, and she's upset, saying that, well, how can you say that? How can you apologize for that? Because now you're minimizing my experience. And it's like, well, he's minimized you and disrespected your experience the moment he took his phone out and started flirting and sending inappropriate sort of suggestions or provocative comments to somebody else. She asked him to give her back her money because he had said he wasn't working. So she was sponsoring, I think, them while they were in the experiment. So when she asked for her money, he gave her her money immediately, which tells me he had the money. He just didn't want to use the money. I think he was tired. I don't know. I don't want to give him an excuse to say he was tired of being bossed around, but something wasn't right with that connection, and I'm happy that it's ended. I think the next one that needs to end is Ramses and Marissa, because that's another toxic one. I don't know. They need to change whoever's doing the casting, because we've already had two couples whereby it wasn't it, and now we have another couple that I personally feel is not it. Tyler, we've heard the rumors about him, and it's like, what is going on with casting for Love is Blind? Something definitely needs to change. Anyway, thanks for watching. Please don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe, and click the link in my video to watch my review from episode 7. Bye, guys.